I shouldn't have looked. I knew I shouldn't, but I did, and now I can't unsee it. It wasn't planned. I wasn't trying to find anything. I wasn't suspicious like that. Not yet. It was just, there's something small, something I wasn't supposed to notice, and at first I almost ignored it. I really did. I told myself it's nothing. Don't overthink. Don't turn this into something it's not. But something felt off and I couldn't shake it. You know that feeling when something doesn't make sense, but you don't have proof, so you convince yourself it's just in your head. That's where I was, right before everything changed. I had the phone in my hand, and even then, I hesitated. Not because I was scared of what I'd find, but because I knew if I looked, there was no going back. I would know. And once you know, you can't pretend anymore. You can't go back to how things felt before. So I stood there, holding it, thinking, maybe I should just put it down. Maybe I should leave it alone. Maybe it's better not to know. But I didn't. I opened it, and at first, nothing, just normal things. Messages, apps, nothing obvious. And for a second, I felt relief. Like I was wrong, like I made it all up. Like everything was still okay, but then I saw it, not something big, not at first, just a name, a conversation, something small, but something about it didn't feel right. And I tried to scroll past it, I really did. I told myself, don't do this, don't go deeper, just close it, put the phone down, forget that you even saw it. But I couldn't, because that same feeling was back stronger this time. And now I wasn't just guessing. Now I had something real, something I couldn't ignore, so I opened it, and that's when everything shifted. And that's when everything shifted, but not because of something obvious, not because of one message or one sentence. It was the way it all fit together, too easily, too naturally, like it had been happening for a while. And I just wasn't part of it. I tried to slow down, to read carefully, to not jump to conclusions. But the more I looked, the harder it became to stay neutral, because it wasn't just words. It was tone, timing, familiarity things. You only notice when you don't want to notice, and I caught myself looking for something to prove me wrong. Something that would fix it. Something that would make it less real, but it wasn't there, and that's when the panic started. Not loud, not dramatic, but quiet, like something tightening inside my chest, because I realized I wasn't searching anymore. I was confirming, and that's a completely different feeling. I even stopped for a second, just staring at the screen, thinking if I close this now, if I don't read the rest, maybe I can still pretend. Maybe I can still hold on to what I thought this was. But I didn't close it. I couldn't, because part of me needed to know how far it went, how real it actually was. And that part was stronger than anything else. Not instantly, not all at once, but enough to make my stomach drop enough to make me stop breathing for a second, because what I was seeing wasn't something I could explain away. It wasn't unclear, it wasn't confusing, it was quiet but obvious, and the worst part wasn't just what was there, it was what it meant, because suddenly everything started making sense. Things I ignored, things I questioned, things I pushed away, they all came back clearer than ever. Like this was the missing piece. The thing that connected everything, and I kept reading. Even though I didn't want to, even though I already knew this wasn't going to end. Well, I kept going and I kept reading, even when I already knew this wasn't going to end well, because there's a moment where you stop hoping to be wrong and you start bracing to be right, and that's exactly where I was. Not searching anymore, not questioning, just preparing for whatever came next. I started noticing details, small ones, the kind you don't see when you're part of something, but you see immediately when you're outside of it. The way the words felt easy, the way the replies came fast, the way nothing felt forced. And that's what made it worse, because it wasn't just happening, it was comfortable. And that's when something shifted again, not in what I was seeing, but in how I was feeling it, because I realized this wasn't new, this wasn't sudden. This was something that had been growing while I was still trying to hold everything together. And that thought, that quiet realization, hit deeper than anything else, because it meant I wasn't just seeing the truth. I was late to it, and I started thinking back, not to big moments, but to small ones. Things I brushed off, things that didn't feel right at the time, but I ignored because I didn't want to create a problem. And suddenly those moments weren't small anymore. They were signs, clear ones, that I chose not to see. And for a second, I wasn't even focused on the phone anymore. I was stuck in my own head, replaying everything, trying to understand how long this had been happening. How many times I felt something and convinced myself it was nothing. And that's when the feeling changed from shock to something heavier, something more personal. Because it wasn't just about them, it was about me, about what I ignored, what I accepted, what I stayed quiet about. And that's a harder truth to sit with, because it means you saw parts of this coming, even if you didn't want to admit it. And I remember holding the phone, just staring at it, not scrolling anymore, not reading, just holding it. Like it suddenly meant something different. Like it wasn't just an object anymore, it was proof. And that changes how you see it, because once something becomes proof, it stops being optional. You can't dismiss it, you can't minimize it, you can't explain it away. It just exists, clear, undeniable, and sitting right in front of you, waiting for you to decide what to do with it. And that's the moment everything slows down, not outside, but inside. Because you realize this isn't about what you found, it's about what comes next. Line after line, message after message, each one heavier than the last, each one harder to ignore. And the more I read, the more real it became, until there was no doubt left, no confusion, no space to lie to myself. I froze, not because I didn't understand, but because I understood too much and I didn't know what to do with it. Because this wasn't just information, this was confirmation. This was truth, and truth. Like that doesn't just sit quietly, it changes something instantly. Even if you don't react, even if you don't say anything inside, something shifts, something breaks, and you feel it. Even if you try not to. I remember thinking maybe there's an explanation. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Maybe there's context I don't understand. But deep down, I knew exactly what it was, and that's the part that stays with you. Not the messages, not the details, but the moment where you realize you were right about something you didn't want to be right about. And after that, there was this silence, not around me, but inside me, like everything just paused. No thoughts, no reaction, just a strange kind of stillness, like my mind was trying to catch up with something my body already understood. And I didn't move. I didn't even look around. I just stayed there holding the phone, knowing that something had already changed, even if nothing had been said. And that silence was louder than anything, because it forced me to sit with it, to feel it, without distractions, without excuses, without anything to soften what I just saw. And that's when it really hit me. Not in the moment I read it, but right after, when there was nothing left to distract me, that this wasn't something I could forget. This wasn't something that would fade. This was something that would stay, because now it was part of how I saw everything. And even though I didn't say anything, even though I didn't react, a decision had already started forming inside me. Quietly, without words, without pressure, just a knowing that things couldn't go back. Not really. Everything felt different, not dramatic, not loud. Just off like something invisible had already ended, even if nothing had been said. Yet, even if everything looked the same on the outside, and I had a choice in that moment, not about them, but about me, about what I would do with what I now knew, what I would accept, what I would ignore, what I would pretend not to see. Because I could have closed it. I could have acted like nothing happened. I could have gone back to how things were, or at least tried to. But I knew I wouldn't be the same. Because once you see something like that, once it becomes real, it changes how you see everything, and there's no going back. So I put the phone down, but it didn't leave me. It stayed in my head, in my thoughts, in every silence after. And even now, I can still see it clear as that moment, like it never really left. I shouldn't have looked, but maybe I needed to, because now I know. And I won't ignore that again.